I agree with you.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Ryan, for coming this evening. One of the biggest things in leadership is when you admit you're wrong. And this is a true situation of admitting fault. And I, as mayor, I completely take full responsibility for that situation, because as a policymaker, it's important that we take the recommendation of city staff. City staff is the individuals that work day in and day out with the unhoused and unsheltered
Did you hear that?
population.
Did you guys hear that?
They're the ones that came up with the discussion
This
regarding
fucker
doing an encampment.
is an
in our
idiot.
community. All the discussion regarding homelessness and such in our community has been handled by city staff. But unfortunately, as we saw at the May 16th town hall meeting that was held at the senior center, was this community is not in favor of any sort of situation that we were providing them. City staff made the recommendation and they followed through with that. In the last 2 months, we've been working with the governing body. Now, the governing body is going to be tasked with all aspects of unhoused and unsheltered population here in Espanola, because the governing body represents the public. The staff, unfortunately, does not always look at the best interests of the public, rather their experiences and utilization, and they will be utilized for consult. But members of the governing body will be directing all future aspects regarding the unhoused and the homeless population in our community. There's a committee.
It's just shrubs and waiting for the fire to be happen, and when you have the whole community living down there, it's gonna happen, and this community is gonna be really difficult.
So Ryan, now the city, the governing body is taking steps to remove these individuals from the encampment. I want to applaud Councilor Benavides. Councilor Benavides will be chairing that committee along with Councilor Pedro Valdez, Councilor Nanette Rodriguez, and Councilor Felicia Archuleta Toya. All discussion regarding the unhoused and the homeless population in our community will now be done strictly by the governing body. And city staff will provide recommendations, but they will not be leading the charge. The governing body is responsible for doing what the public wants. And it was very made clear on May 16th that the public did not support the encampment and supporting the unhoused population in our community. And we are taking now the steps to be doing that. And I take full responsibility as mayor of our city for not having the governing
He's only
body
saying
do
that now because the governor's here. He's not doing it because of anything else. He should have done this back then.
You know, we had city staff creating task forces and inviting citizen members, and then there was malicious rumors going about relocating the homeless to random areas of the county and such.
He's a liar. There's documentation.
Represent the best interest of the city of Espanola.
There's documentation.
That's why the governing body is going to be completely responsible for all discussion regarding the unhoused and the homeless population in our community, so that this situation does not happen again. City staff will provide recommendations. Public safety, I'm going to yield to the chief of police, because we've had multiple issues and instances down there actually where we have been dispatched with the police department to break up situations down there. And so I'm going to yield to the chief of police.
Thank you, sir. What I want to do, and it's been published, and as you all know, as the chief of police, I will never criminalize.
These guys are idiots.
That's not what we do in the city of Espanola. What we do is we address crime not only within our homeless community, but throughout the community. Now, I can feel your frustration, sir, and especially when you're talking about drugs. I spent the majority of my career in that area, and I hear your frustration. But let me give you a little bit of, no excuses, but of what we face every day and every law enforcement officer faces. We want to take everybody that violates the law to jail. Unfortunately, and I'm not going to blame anyone, there's going to be no blame here, but unfortunately, whatever happens after we make that arrest, we have no control over it. I can tell you every night, I see them. 6 to 7 arrests. Now, of those 6 to 7 arrests, up to 10 arrests, maybe 2 go to jail. The rest are released on some type of rule. That's beyond our control. I do have an opinion on that, on what we could use, and I've talked to numerous of our members of our governing body. I do think that Espanola needs a jail, bottom line. I think you're right, that a lot of these people, these lawbreakers, don't fear, because we do make the arrest. We know them all by name. And unfortunately, like the governor has said repeatedly, I wish they would stay in there 10 hours. We're seeing them 3 to 4 hours. We see them go to the hospital and they're not cleared, and they don't even go to jail at all. Now, the frustration we feel on my side is pretty bad. And my job is to tell the officers, regardless of what happens afterwards, our job is to enforce the law, make the arrest, and whatever happens afterwards, that's not within our purview. So we understand your frustration, sir. We really do. We recently started working with our municipal court judge, working on code enforcement, or enforcement of ordinance within the city of Espanola. One of the biggest things that we have, one of the most calls that I get are jaywalkers. One of my officers actually struck a jaywalker while on duty. And that
Because he
has
was
been
looking at his
one of the
camera.
biggest calls that
He's
I
looking
get.
at his computer,
So
that's
twice a
why.
week, we're
He's looking at his
enforcing that.
computer.
We're making every day
He wasn't
7 to 12
focusing on the
arrests
road.
for jaywalking and criminal trespass. Now, I'd like to tell you that everybody we arrest goes to jail, spends the night. That's just not the way it is, and I'm not going to tell you that. I do know that anywhere from hopefully 20 to 30% actually make it to jail, but at least we have taken them off the street. And that's what we're supposed to do, protect the public. Because that one time that we don't make that arrest, they're going to commit a more violent felony, and it's going to be due to what we didn't do. So we hear your frustration. I'm going to tell you how a department, how we depend on each other. When we're talking about drugs, I probably had one of the finest members of my department, someone that I worked with at the Albuquerque Police Department, who knew about drugs. We worked undercover together. And he's in the crowd today, Mr. Donald Lopez. While he worked with me, we had the most drug arrests that we've ever had in the city of Espanola. And he followed through. Unfortunately, he had a higher calling, and we all understand that. I know that family comes first. I support him, anything I can do. But replacing someone like that in our department, he had 25 years of experience. We're trying now to replace that. I unfortunately have the background, I just can't be doing that. But we are out there, sir, we hear you. Let me tell you what I wish we all would do. Text me or call us, give us those addresses. We track every address. So when we have the opportunities, we just recently dealt with an address.
These people know who the
District
drug dealers
3
are, but they don't do
that came up
shit.
during our last town hall meeting.
They don't do
And we were able
nothing.
to make the arrests.
It's all,
So please,
it's all
don't
talk.
stop, don't give up. Please never give up. Give us that information. Feel free to call me, text me. It may take me a couple of days, but sir, we're with you. We're in this fight together. The officers that you have here in Espanola are in the fight with you together. We do not get frustrated, and please reach out to us.